Hi, I'm Pip Wilkins, CEO of the British Franchise Association. Welcome to CEO Meets. I'm joined today by Simon Wise from FranRec. Hi, Simon, how are you doing?
Hi, Pip. How are you doing? I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
Simon, first up, talk to us about FranRec. What do you do?
FranRec. Well, we're a dedicated staff recruiter for the UK franchise industry. So we do a lot of work with franchisors, recruiting for the head office placements. We do some executive work as well, some executive headhunting work for senior leaderships. But our core bread and butter business is recruiting head office staff for franchisors, both in the UK and Australia as well. We've got a business in Australia as well, which is great.
Fantastic. So talk to us about how it works. How do you get to know what sort of candidates you want to put forward for a franchisor?
Oh, I think it's not just about getting a little black book out and seeing who meets the requirement. It's about getting an understanding of the brand. It's so important these days, and never more so than as a result of COVID, that people have a real tune in to the company's core culture and values. So we really understand core culture and values of a brand, and really use that as a really determining factor in terms of who we would introduce. We don't just fire loads of CVs at people. It's about a very dedicated, sophisticated search and selection based on skills, attributes, but cultural fit as well, which is really important.
Yeah, we're seeing that more and more, not just from a staffing perspective, but from a franchisee recruitment perspective, where the franchisor is looking to bring people on that are really aligned to their kind of core values. And like you said, the culture of the business is really key. In terms of the last kind of couple of years, you said, it's been a tough few years for businesses generally. We're seeing sort of different trends across the sector. What sort of things are you seeing from a recruitment perspective, both in the UK and abroad?
Well, really, I mean, and again, we're talking in the context of franchising. As you and I both know, franchising is massively resilient to all of these issues and changes and things. And I think with COVID, it was an opportunity for a lot of businesses to sort of hit the restart button. And that allowed them to focus very closely on the individuals within the business, the staff, the people out there supporting franchisees. And I'll be, from a recruiter's point of view, serving the franchise marketplace, it's been very, very busy over the last couple of years. And it's been really good to see that a lot of brands are investing additional infrastructure of support for their franchisees, as well as they're investing in head office staff, because they know it's critical to the success of the franchisees. So we've enjoyed a really good period over the last couple of years. It is a challenging marketplace. People are still a little bit nervous about changing direction and changing careers to see what's around the corner. But it's been a very, very positive. And again, franchising is front and center in terms of leading the way, in recruitment and making sure their franchisees have the very, very best talent available to support them in the growth of their business.
One of the things that we're seeing more and more when we're recruiting staff, we're rebuilding the BFA team at the moment, is that people are absolutely looking at what the development opportunities are when they're looking to come into a business now. Are you seeing more of that from a franchisor perspective as well, when they're looking for staff? What sort of things make an employer of choice, I suppose?
That's 100%. Employee engagement, employee career progression, that is so important, and never more so. When you're looking to attract good talent into the business, not only do they want to know, what is my job role, how will I be motivated, how will I be rewarded, how will I be recognized, but that employee engagement. Because the biggest threat that we face as an industry, I guess, or the growth or the future growth of the industry, is the recruitment and retention of staff. And it's a tough thing, and across all sectors that's going to be massively challenging. So I can see franchisors particularly putting more resource, more effort into employee engagement and really mapping out a career path for somebody at the very start. And I think that will be very, very valuable from an individual's point of view, because there's nothing worse than coming into a new role and having some uncertainties. The number of times people say to me, "Look, Simon, I'm looking for a career move." Well, look, you've only been in that job for a year. Well, what I'm doing is not what I was brought in to do. It wasn't what was on the job spec. It wasn't what we discussed at an interview. So I'm seeing good franchisors really focusing on that pathway and retaining their staff, because that's critical. You know, we need to see, I don't know, and I know you're researching the marketplace at the moment. That'd be really interesting to see what the tenure is for franchise staff. But because as franchisees become more sophisticated and more successful, they're demanding that experience and that professionalism from the franchise staff, from the franchise support people that they've got around them as well. So some real challenges ahead for sure.
Well, what would you give then if you could sort of give franchisors a top tip of things that they should consider, both when drawing up a job spec and recruiting? What would those kind of key tips be?
I think put a lot of thought into the job spec, you know, because that is, and really map out exactly what you're looking for in terms of skills, experience, what they're going to be responsible for, what they're going to be measured on. And don't have too many grey areas. Have a lot of information there that allows a candidate to make an assessment whether they'll be interested in really moving forward. You know, don't leave anything to chance. I mean, the best brands that we work with really put a lot of thought, and most successful hires are the brands that put a lot of thought into their job description and very, very clear about their DNA, just as franchisors are about the type of franchisees they want to recruit into their business. You know, they know what the avatar looks like. Then do the same for your employee recruitment as well. That's really important.
Fantastic. Now, Simon, I ask everybody the same question when they come on a CEO Meets. Again, it's another top tip, but it's a top tip if someone's considering looking into franchising, and you know, you've got experience in different camps. So I'm going to ask you for two. One for a potential franchisor if they're looking to franchise their business, and one for a potential franchisee. They're coming into the market. What would be your key kind of piece of advice for them?
Okay, I mean, from a franchisee's perspective, I relate to my own experience. I mean, you know, it's I've been in the industry for 25 years now. I know I don't look old enough, but it's 25 years. And for me, the decision to move into franchising as a franchisee was about transition, life transition. You know, I had a young family. I know what I wanted to achieve in life, and I needed to make that transition. So I chose franchising. And invested in a recruitment franchise. But it was important. So my main piece of advice would be choose carefully. Find something that you're passionate about, an industry sector, a business that you're passionate about, but importantly, something you know you're going to be good at as well. You know, and you know, give yourself an environment where you're confident in your own abilities, and you can be really motivated to achieve success. So yeah, it comes down to choice. Just be very, very careful. Do your homework carefully and really dig into that franchise opportunity. From a franchisor's perspective, again, you know, I've seen a lot of mistakes taken place over the year. I would say to any prospective franchisor, don't underestimate your responsibility of being a franchisor, because, you know, in my mind, your sole reason for existence as a franchisor is to make sure your franchisees are successful, period. Okay, and I think that's really important not to underestimate that level of responsibility in everything that you do as a franchisor. So those are just two little pearls of wisdom, I guess.
They are little pearls of wisdom. Simon, thank you so much for your time today. It's been really awesome chatting to you.
Thanks, Pip. It's great to see you. All the best.